Hey guys, welcome to my presentation on why you should mountain bike. There we go. So, mountain biking is a really awesome sport. It's probably the best sport you can do outside. My friend took me last year to go riding in a place called Son of a Ditch over in a pine forest in Wake Forest, and that was what introduced me to mountain biking. And they had jumps, stuff like that, and like downhill sections. Just a real great first taste of mountain biking. And well, I fell in love with it, as you can see, and I've been doing it for 2 years now, and it's really done wonders. And so, what do people usually do for fun other than mountain biking? Well, most people today don't get active a lot. You know, they stay inside most of the time. I mean, maybe to run errands or go get the mail or take the trash out, they go outside. But other than that, most people, for enjoyment, they'll either hop on their Xbox or on their PlayStation or on, the TV, watch some Netflix, do some things inside. But, I used to do that kind of stuff. Well, I mean, occasionally I'd go outside and maybe ride my scooter a little bit, but I realized how much I was missing out when I started mountain biking. So yeah, in my opinion, it is the absolute best way to get outside because it's exciting. It gets you fresh air, exercise. It's all around fun, and it just does wonders for you. It gets you much more fit. If you play sports, they can also get you fit for that, especially running or stuff like baseball, football. And like if you think you get outside enough already, I mean, this is definitely, I mean, maybe aside from sports like football, baseball, like team sports like that, this is probably the best, absolute best sport you can do out there. And it gives you a much different, outdoor experience just because of the kinds of things you do, like, jumping, going down hills. I mean, for some people, for the more extreme riders, I mean, but just, it's way more different than many other sports you can do. Even like motocross, which is almost as close as you can come to this. It's much, much different. Alright, here's a few videos of things you can do out there. This is my friend at Forest Ridge Bike Park off of Falls Lake. Here's me at Landfill Park. Let's see if I can fast forward a bit. Sending a big jump. Oh yeah. Here's a video of me doing a track stand, which is basically balancing on your wheels without going forward and without putting your foot down, which I'm still pretty bad at, but yeah. Here's another video of me at Landfill. Let's redo that. And here's my friend doing an awesome trick at a bike park that's called Shady 80, and it's over behind Heritage High School, so it's really easy to find. And if you want to get into jumping, that's probably the best spot you can learn, and closest. Alright. So, if you don't have a bike, there's many types of bikes you can get. So, there's cross-country bikes, which are, light, usually pretty light bikes that are for, smooth trails, for riding or racing. And they're usually built for more endurance-type stuff. Getting the mileage in, stuff like that. So, and for trail, that's what I have, and you can basically do a lot of different things with it. You can do more extreme stuff, more laid back stuff, endurance, all sorts of stuff. All mountain is more towards the gnarly stuff with jumps, drops, rough stuff, rock gardens, all sorts of stuff. But like you can still climb well with it, because usually the bikes with the higher suspension travel and that are built for the more rougher stuff and the jumps and whatever, they're kind of hard to climb with because they're heavier and the suspension makes it harder to get the pedaling strokes in. And enduro is basically all mountain, but a level up, and so faster, steeper, rougher, and but you can still climb with them. They're not as good as the other categories for sure. And then downhill you can't even climb with at all, but they're absolutely beasts at going downhill. So that's about it. For the different types of suspension setups, you can either do a hardtail, which is basically only suspension in the front, but they are much, much cheaper, and you can get much better components for the price than if you got a full suspension, the same price. You definitely get better components on the hardtail because you don't have to pay for a whole different frame setup with the shock in the middle. And but full suspensions, they're definitely better for rolling over stuff and give you a more comfortable ride for sure, and smoother. And they can tackle bigger trails, with more rough stuff, but they're definitely more pricier if you want to get the good ones. Like, probably the most expensive bike is a full suspension that costs around $14,000. I'm not kidding. But hardtails can go for up to $400, like down to $400 at your local Trek store. You can get the Trek Marlin 4, I believe, for about $400, which is it's more of a cross country gear bike, but there are some good trail bikes that you can get for your first bike if you're on a budget. So here's some just examples of the different kinds, and here's some stuff to pay attention to. The suspension, smooths out bumps and everything. Geometry, there's things called like the head tube angle, which basically is the angle of the fork in relation to the bike, and the more angled the fork is, the better it is for the steeper stuff, and just to keep it more stable. The less is, some people say it's better for steering. I mean, I'm more like a downhill, gnarly guy, so I like to, if I get another bike, it's definitely going to be something with a slack head tube angle, just because of the stuff that I do. Drivetrain, like you see over at the GIF on the right, that's basically going to have your derailleur, which is the thing that hangs down with the chain, and then your cassette, and the pedals and cranks, and the shifter. So that basically switches your gears. You're going to definitely want one gear in the front if you're, when you get a bike, because they're just better for maintenance, and they're all around better. You don't have to manage two gears at once, which I made the mistake of getting a 2x9, which has 2 gears in the front and 9 gears in the back. Brakes, you're going to want to stop if you're, doing anything. So, always get hydraulic, always get disc. That's all there is to that. Tires, if you want to be faster, go faster, and you don't want to slip, get those. If you want less pedaling resistant tires, then get, less meaty tires. The meatier the tires, bigger the tread, then you're not going to slip as much, but the less meaty you'll get, just outright great pedaling performance. And yeah. Seat post. Some bikes come with a seat post that goes up and down, basically exactly like an office chair. It's called a dropper post. Although bikes with that are pretty expensive, so watch out for that. Standard seat posts. I have a standard seat post, and I don't find the need to have a dropper post because I spend most of my time up and about, just because of the riding I do. And so, in the sizing also, if you get too big of a sizing, you might not even be able to reach the pedals. If it's too small, you might go over the bars every time because you're just so tall and the bike is really small for you. So that might not be a great option. So just do your research and, do comparisons, read reviews, do all that stuff before you get a bike because it's a big investment, like a car. So you're gonna want to choose carefully on that, but it is a amazing investment, let me tell you. So, thanks for watching this, and I hope to see y'all on the trails soon. Thanks.